You know that feeling, right? That sudden gut instinct that just screams that you just stop? Or maybe a flash of creative insight that feels like it came through you, not really from you. Well, that inner voice, that's a mystery people have been trying to figure out forever. And today, we're going to dive into two totally different ways of understanding this powerful internal force. And really, this is the core of it. Is that inner voice a wise advisor, kind of like a divine warning system? Or is it something way more primal, a force that just takes you over completely? Is it a guide for your ego, or is it something that completely dissolves it? You might remember this classic line from that old viral video, David After Dentist. You've got this little kid, he's loopy from anesthesia, and he's stuck between two worlds, questioning everything. That feeling of dual consciousness, of being in a state you just can't wrap your head around, is the perfect place for us to start.
Now, to get the first half of this puzzle, we have to rewind. Way back to ancient Greece and to the philosopher Socrates. See, he had a special name for his inner voice, and it's a concept that philosophers have been arguing about for thousands of years.
Socrates called his inner guide the daimonion, and this wasn't just some random idea he had. As you can see from the study of Plato's work, it was a huge part of his identity. It was a consistent, structured, internal guide.
So, what on earth was it? For Socrates, the daimonion was basically a divine sign. Think of it like a personal oracle, something that gave him a direct, though very specific, line to the divine. It wasn't just a hunch. For him, it was a prophecy.
And here's what's so fascinating, how this daimonion actually worked. It had a really strict set of rules. It never, ever told Socrates what to do. It only ever told him what not to do. It was a purely negative force, a restraint that guided his rational mind by stopping him from making bad moves, like getting tangled up in the messy world of Athenian politics.
Okay, so let's jump from that ancient rational guide to its modern, more mystical counterpart. And trust me, this is a totally different beast. This is the inner voice not as a quiet warning, but as this overwhelming, creative flood.
This brings us to the concept of duende, a term from Spanish flamenco culture. Now, this isn't some thought or a sign from the heavens. Nope. This is a raw, physical force that rises up from the earth right through your body and possesses you as an artist. It's got nothing to do with thinking. It's all about being completely taken over. This line right here just perfectly nails the idea. You can't just summon duende whenever you want, or use it like some tool. It's not something you have. It's something that has you. It's a complete and total surrender of control to this creative spirit. The whole point of duende is to get your rational, filtering mind to just get out of the way. It zips right past the ego to get to something deeper, more primal, more direct. And the result isn't some carefully planned masterpiece. It's what one of our sources calls an interesting vomit, a raw, unfiltered burst of pure experience.
So there we have it, two very different daemons, the ancient advisor and the modern channel. Let's really put them side by side and see just how different they are. This chart makes the contrast so clear. Look at the function. Socrates' daimonion is there to warn. It's a no. The modern daemon is there to possess. It's an active takeover. For the ego, one acts as a guide, the other just dissolves it completely. One speaks in divine signs, the other in this pre-word root feeling. And the result? The Socratic path leads to a wise, prudent life. The path of duende, well, that leads to raw, unfiltered, and often pretty messy art.
Okay, check out this metaphor from our source material, because it's just brilliant. The Socratic daimonion is like a guide dog for a blind person. It helps the ego get around a world it can't fully see, keeping it from stumbling. But the modern demon, this other state, isn't about getting a better guide. It's about restoring your sight, the sudden realization that you were never the separate blind ego in the first place. And this gets to why this modern daemon stuff is so hard to talk about. This ancient wisdom from the Tao Te Ching pretty much says that anytime you try to use words to describe ultimate reality, you're going to fail. Language chops things up, right? It creates separation. But this state of duende, it's non-dual. It's a unified whole. Trying to explain it is like trying to catch the ocean in a teacup. So, after exploring these two extremes, the question kind of flips back on us, doesn't it? Which one of these experiences feels more familiar to you? Let's turn this lens inward for a minute and think about our own inner voices. Do you experience it like Socrates did? You know, that quiet but really firm no that stops you from hitting send on a nasty email or from taking a wrong turn down a dark street? Is it a force that helps your rational self make safer,
better choices.
Or is your experience something closer to duende, that wave of inspiration for a song or a story or even a crazy solution to a problem that just feels like it's pouring through you, demanding that you just get out of the way and let it happen?
I just love this way of thinking about it. The ego is like a solid ice cube, totally convinced that its separate shape is its true identity. And the Socratic daemon, well, it helps that ice cube avoid getting chipped. But the experience of duende, that's like the ice cube melting, remembering it was never just a cube, but that it was always part of the vast, interconnected ocean.
So, in the end, whether you call it a guide or a possession, an advisor or a channel, maybe the label just doesn't matter. Maybe the real question isn't what the voice is, but whether we have the guts to actually pay attention when it speaks, to just stop, listen, and see where it takes us.